Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am doing this live because I want to show how I usually do to take a photo and to edit this photo using Black Dragon first of all in Second Life, because I think that Black Dragon is one of the most beautiful and important viewer for your photos, and using also Photoshop. So let's see together how to do this. I am very curious also to know your opinions and to see if you have ever used this method, especially using the textures in Photoshop, like we will see in this video. So, if you like, I pray you to put a comment where you can show your images, especially if you have used Black Dragon Viewer, or if you have used Photoshop using the Texas method. Okay, so let's see how I usually do. Okay, in this moment I am at Cocoon. Cocoon is a beautiful sim that is perfect for photos and for role playing. I have done a video before to show to people to show to people Cocoon, because it's really a beautiful sim. Okay, let's explore now a point where we can take our photo. Well, everything here is really beautiful, so I don't know what point it's better than another one, but for example, we could uh, we could do a photo here. Okay, like you see, I am not wearing many lights on my avatar. In this moment, especially, I am using just a face light. And if you see in this point, my hair are not blonde anymore. They are gray because in this point lights are different than before. So you see my hair gray. I don't know if, okay, this is for example my face lamp that I am wearing this moment on nose. I don't know if you are usually to use this, but LumiPro is a great method to fix this problem. So if you add all the lights of LumiPro, and you add also LumiPro, of course, because we need to set up our lights. Okay, you can see that now your avatar is different because you have these lights. You can also choose the um, intensity of this light, of these lights that you have in LumiPro. For example, I can set my lights going here. I set my colors going here. For example, I like some pink one, or gray, or blue. Okay, if you want to hide this ball, you can simply click hide and you hide your ball. But it's also important to set your ball. Okay, so going here where you can see these arrows, you can set the position. Okay, you can set the position, but you can also change your tool. Okay. Okay, this is the projector where you can choose also a bulb, gobo, but in this moment it's not the most important thing. Okay, going here in sides, you can change the size of your lights ball. So, for example, I can choose this one. They are very big, but it's really nice here for this photo, I think. In any case, my hair are still gray here. It depends by the lights that are in this specifically point. So here my hair are gray, and we can't do more. But of course, you can change the wheel light settings. For example, you can go to Word, Environment Editor, Edit Sky, and you can change everything here. So you can change, for example, the lights in this point. You can also go here your inventory if you use Black Dragon, because in this point you have the settings folder where you can change your sky in a very easy way. Simply click your item, right click, and then apply just to myself. This is my viewer, it's in Italian, but you have something similar to apply just to myself. Okay, this is the EEP system. Okay. Using the LumiPro is not an obligation. LumiPro can be really useful, especially with lights, because you have an important chance to use something that can fix your lights, even if you can't read in a sim where you are. Okay. So, you need in any case to change the position of the sun, but in this case we don't have much sun, so nothing change if we go here, okay? Okay. So, okay, now what we can do? Yes, I'm not interested. Okay, now we can simply try to find a good pose. So I go to my animation. If you want to see, um, if you want to see the difference, if you stop to warn LumiPro light, you can see in an easy way. Simply remove LumiPro, and you can see that there is a big difference. Okay, so LumiPro is really useful. Of course, you can always fix this lack of lights in your post processing. Okay, you can also go to F1 in Black Dragon, and for example you can change some of these parameters. Okay, light brightness, for example, here change a lot. Okay, light fall off change a lot. Brightness, you can also have this brightness. And you can fix this parameter in a very easy way, also using the F1, of course. But of course that if you have LumiPro can be a great help. So I suggest to use LumiPro, because you can change also, for example, the colors of the light colors. You can change what you prefer. There are so many colors here. Um, Also, you can change the colors of your hair, changing simply the color of your lights. So this is also really nice, like you see. For example, I choose this one, gray. Okay, now I hide everything. I return to my inventory, and I need to set an animation, a static animation. Okay, so let's go to animations, single poses, stands. Oh, I don't have much poses here, so I don't know exactly what to choose in this moment. For example, I do love the queering poses, so let's see the preview here before to use it. Oh, they are really really cool. For example, in my moment I am using hide feet, so I could, okay, this one is nice. I need simply to move my avatar because I don't like the avatar in this way. Okay, I can close this one. Okay, now let's start to do a photo. If you have problems using Backdragon with your height, you simply go to your avatar, right click on your, okay, I know, I think, right click on your avatar and click on overhead. Okay, now you can change your overhead like you do in Firestorm. So simply going up, going down. Okay, like you need, like you prefer. Okay. Okay, now let's take our photo and let's see how to edit this photo in Photoshop using the texturism methods. Okay, in the Black Dragon it's really cool that you can also move your camera in this way, so you can find a really nice position for your photo. Another way that I want to show you to take a great um, position for your camera is using a tool that I do love, that is this one, camera. Okay, photo wall, camera angel hood. Okay, simply add it. When you add it, you find your camera angel here. Usually it is at the top of the right. I change the position at the top of the left. In any case, here, when you click here, you can set on. To see how it works, you need to move your avatar and you can simply move these arrows and like you see your camera change. Okay, it's really nice because if you don't have much fantasy about your camera, like I don't have, wow, this is very cool for me. You can also change a bit using these parameters here, so you can change your angle like you prefer when you have a, a position that you like. Okay, honestly I don't have much fantasy, so um, I use a lot this hood for my photos. And yeah, okay, oh wow, nice, this shot is really nice. We need just to adjust a bit. Okay, okay, let's take this photo Well, I prefer to go near the avatar a little bit more. So press Ctrl 0 if you want to go near your avatar and find the best position for your avatar. Okay. Okay, now press Ctrl Alt and S to take your photo. Save to disk. Now we need to change a bit because these parameters are not well. I think that these one are much better for a night quality photo. And save as and give a name. Okay, sci-fi Oema. Okay, now let's go to Photoshop and let's start to edit our photo using the textures method. Okay, we are now in Photoshop. Okay, let me see if all it's okay with live streaming. Okay, it's all now with live streaming. Okay, let's open now our photo. We need to find the photo that we saved. Okay, now I have saved all my method to edit the photo using the textures in Photoshop. So I have some textures that I usually use for editing in Photoshop, and I will leave the link to download these textures in the description of this video later. So you will be able to download these textures and use in your photos. Okay. Okay, let's start to import the texture 6. So let's go to Photoshop. I usually insert in this way my photo. So I go to textures, texture 6. Now I need to set these textures this way. You can adjust like you prefer. You don't need to be you don't need to do so well. The most important thing that the photo is over your other photo, other background. The first thing to do is to duplicate your background. So press Ctrl plus J to create a copy of your background. I prefer also to rename this because it's easier later to find this layer. Now I go to my texture 6 and we need to blending mode on linear light and set opacity to 25%. So let's go to linear light. My Photoshop is in Italian, so linear light for me is luce lineare. So this one, okay. We need now to set our opacity to 20%. 25, sorry, 25%. Of course, it depends by your photo. So maybe you would like to set a different opacity, and this is of course okay because the opacity it depends by your photo. Okay, now let's go to another texture and we need to import texture 8, setting the blending mode on screen, and 20% like opacity. Okay, 8. I told 8, right? Yes, right. Blending mode on screen. Okay, like before, my Photoshop is in Italian. In any case, screen is schiarisci. Okay, and we need to set our opacity to 20%. And like before, you can adjust in a different way because it depends by your photo. For example, in my case, would be nice also 36 or 24, 25, something more than 20 in any case. Okay, so now let's import the other texture. Before the import the other texture, we can do something nice, simply copying these textures. Okay, so press Ctrl J, copy these textures, and press Ctrl Alt and T, okay, to edit. Right click on your image and reflect horizontally. Okay, now confirm. When you do this, you can now add a layer mask and simply leave black here and white here, and choose this tool and start to edit your mask in this way, you see. So the texture effect will be stronger on the right, okay, using the layer mask in this way. It's important that the black is on the top and the white is behind the black color. This is important, of course, otherwise you don't have this effect. Okay, this is a nice method to use this texture. Okay, now we can also set the opacity on 27% here. For example, in this way is 20, but we can increase a little bit, okay? The effect is really cool in your image. Okay, now let's go to another texture. Texture free. Let's go to texture free, import texture free. Let's start to adjust our texture like usually, and confirm. Now blending mode is set on color burn and opacity on 25%. Okay, so color burn is colore brucia in Italian. It's really too strong in this way, so we need to set our opacity on 25%. You can also increase if you like a little bit more, but not much, because later we will adjust this image in any case, so you don't need to worry much about the effect on your texture here. Okay, texture free, blending mode, color burn, opacity 25%. Now texture 7. Texture 7, let's start to import our texture 7. We need to adjust like usual. Okay, now we need to set the soft light blending mode here. Okay, soft light, and we need to set the opacity on 20. Set opacity. In this way, set opacity. Okay. Now, copy like before the texture 7. Okay. So press the layer and press Ctrl J to copy. But we need to change our opacity and blending mode on linear burn blending mode and opacity 10. Linear burn, brucia lineare, ok, and then we need to set opacity on 10. Okay. Now we need to add the texture 11. We need to choose a vivid color. So let's import texture 11. Okay, now we need to choose a vivid color blending mode and opacity 30%. Vivid color is vivid color. Okay. And set opacity on 30%. Okay, yes, it's right. Now we need to add another adjustment. We need to add a solid color. So let's go here. Solid color for you is this one, tinta unita in Italian. And you need to set this value, okay, here. Confirm. And now blending mode is to exclusion and opacity is 20%. 20%. Okay. Now we can do another adjustment. We can add curves and setting some parameters on red and blue. Okay, so we need to add a curve. We need to go to red, okay, and now we need to set the red on output 237, output 237. You need to go here. Okay, 237. And in blue you need to set on output 25. Output 25, input, output, okay, output 25. Okay, it's really cool. Your image is really cool in this way. Okay, now simply we need to add another layer, curves. We are almost finished. Okay, curves, and now we need to set on input 30. Okay, maybe it's a little bit strong, 30 for me. Of course, it depends by your image. In my case, 30, I think it's a little bit hard. Maybe 16, 15, it's right for my image in this point, in this sim that doesn't have much lights. And so, this parameter, I think it's better in this way. Of course, you need to adjust your textures and opacity and these levels, these layers like you prefer, and it depends by your image. But this method is really cool because you can create a style for your image that I like very much, and it works. It works for many images in my opinion. So I suggest you to use this method, and if you use it, I ask you to put a comment on this video and to give me a link where you publish your image using this method, or simply using Black Dragon Viewer. Okay, thank you so much for follow my video. Let's return in Second Life. Thank you so much for follow my video, and see you to the next one. Bye.